I'm here with Trooper Betsy Randolph with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Betsy, thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about, some tips for driving out there. We had the big ice storm last weekend. This weekend, supposedly, we're going to have some snow, some wet weather.
Right.
What do you suggest? What are some good driving tips?
Well, something that we said last week, and I don't know if it just went unheard, unheeded, we tell folks slow down. And I don't think people understand what we mean when we say slow down, because we're not seeing folks slow down. When you're driving on ice, you have to slow down. When you know that the roadway is going to be wet and the ground temperatures are at freezing or soon to be at freezing, if the temperature in the air is at freezing, then probably the moisture that's falling from the air is going to be freezing on contact. So although there might not be standing water, standing ice, or snow on the ground, it's possible, and we saw that this morning, that folks were sliding. They call it black ice. I don't know that that's a correct terminology. I know that's something that people hear a lot. And that's the reason they call it that is because it's the same color as the roadway, or it just looks like it's wet.
And is it worse on highways and bridges, overpasses?
It really is. The reason for that is, and I know we've explained it, and I'm no scientist, but it was explained easy to me. So what I tell folks is this raised, elevated structure, the air is going to blow over and under it. Okay, so what happens is those things freeze first, and then they stay frozen longer. So even though we've got the sand and the salt on it, sometimes even precipitation falling, it'll refreeze. So we really want folks to understand that, and here's another thing, and this happens all the time. Folks will come up to, and you've probably done this yourself, Angie, you come up to the overpass and then you're like, oh, I need to change lanes. And so they change lanes on the ice. They're going to crash. I mean, it happens every single day. So don't change lanes on the overpass or bridge. Don't slow down or speed up on the bridge. If you'll do those three things or not do those three things as you go over the overpass, bearing in mind that it could be icy, you're going to go right over. No problem. So just maintain the speed that you've got as you go over, and you won't have any problems at all.
Now, do you recommend snow tires, chains on tires? I've heard all kinds of things like that.
Well, I'll tell you, I've gone ahead and left my studded tires on, my snow tires. They're not very good when there's no snow on the ground because they'll be kind of slick, especially at higher speeds. You won't be able to maintain control if you have to get going fast. But since you're not going to be going over the speed limit, you won't have a problem in having those studded tires on. You want to make sure you take them off after there's no snow on the ground. But like if you wanted to put them on today because it's going to start snowing today, great idea. Just go easy, understanding that it's going to take a little bit longer to get going, probably because they're going to slide. But yeah, I would say if you have some studded tires, or definitely when you've got 2 to 4 inches of snow, go ahead and put those chains on if you want to do that. That'd be great.
Great. Any other tips for us?
Yeah, I want to make sure folks understand it's important to increase the traveling distance. Say you've got 2 vehicles and you're behind a vehicle, back way off of them. Even if you're in an opposing lane, if you ride up close to them, if they spin out of control, they're going to hit you or you're going to hit them. So back way off. You can pass vehicles. That's great, pass vehicles, but don't go outrageously fast to get around them. And then once you get around them, reduce your speed. And again, if someone cuts in between you, because we see that happening all the time, especially during rush hour, everybody's in a hurry, and if you're not able to get to work fast, it's better if you just call and say, I'm going to be late, and get there safely. And understand you're going to have to slow down when there's bad weather. But then, like I said, those things about the overpasses or bridges, very important, and increasing your following distance.
Great. Thank you so much,
You're
Betsy.
welcome.
Those are some great tips. Remember to slow down, keep room in between you and the car in front of you, and when you come up to those overpasses, don't change lanes. Great. Thank you.
Thanks.